Hey, you guys, welcome back to Essential Veronica. I got some random stuff to share with you all today. It's about a book, a movie, a palette, and some empties. So let's start off with the book. You know, I've been into audiobooks and trying to get through as many of them as my time schedule and interest will allow. The latest one, I have to admit, I'm having a little bit of kind of trouble getting through. It is called Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. I mean, look, who doesn't like Matthew McConaughey? Yeah. But I can't really explain why I'm having such a hard time getting through this audiobook. I've been on this for maybe like a month now. It's not that he's not interesting. I mean, Matthew McConaughey is a great storyteller. That's part of what makes him a fantastic actor, that he really gets into character. That's what actors do. They get into character and they make you believe the person that they're portraying themselves to be. So this is his autobiography. He had a really interesting life. He grew up in Uvalde, is it Uvalde or Uvalde, Texas, to some parents that just kind of had a really interesting way of bringing their kids up. Him and his, I think he had two brothers, something like that. That's not the point. He tells the story of his upbringing all the way through high school. He went away and spent a year in Australia, fascinating story, and how he originally, I think, wanted to be a lawyer or went to school to be a lawyer or something like that. I forget the details, but then ended up going to acting school, and that kind of changed his life trajectory. So I've got maybe 3 hours of the book left. I'm at the place where he's starting to get big roles. He's at the point where he's talking about the movie that he did with Jodie Foster. I believe it's called Contact. And he talks about how they switched roles or something. She was supposed to play his role. He was supposed to play her role. I forget the details, but I wouldn't say the book is dragging. I would say there's something about the way that Matthew McConaughey tells his story that is ever so slightly off-putting for me. Like he is just on that side of cocky. I'm having a hard time kind of following him and not wanting to just shake him as he's telling his story. So I'm getting there. If you've listened to Green Lights or if you've read the book, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Matthew McConaughey is also doing this advertising on YouTube. Have you seen this video where it's him and a number of other modern day business gurus like Tony Robbins and all these other folks? You know, some people consider them charlatans. I don't even know what I think, but I have listened to some of their videos and so forth where he's doing a series with them. So let me know your thoughts on that if you've seen the advertisement for that and if you plan to watch. I forget what it's called, but if I figure it out, I'll put it right here. So then we watched the movie Guardians of the Galaxy, the latest one in the series, yesterday. So disaster story. I had pre-purchased tickets on Fandango for, I think it was a 12:15 showing. And we got ourselves together. We were ready. We were ahead of the game. And we went with separate cars because some of the kids wanted to go do other things after the movie. I told I told our oldest son, here's the address. Meet us here. And it was the exact address on the Fandango ticket. He goes off, we go off. We're in the theater waiting for him, and he says, I'm inside. Like he texts us, and we're looking for him, and we can't find him. And so my husband's like, you go ahead, I'll wait with him and then meet you in the theater. We go up to the theater ticket taker person, and I show her my QR code, and she goes, that's the wrong location. And I had this moment of panic because the movie was going to start in 5 minutes, or at least the previews were. And I was like, oh my God, where am I? Like, I just had this moment of complete disorientation. We have movie theaters very close to each other here, close to each other, as in like 15 minutes away driving. That's maybe not that close for other people. And so our son was at the other theater, and here we were, the four of us at this theater. And I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world have I created? So our poor son rushed up to the theater to meet us. And because of my disaster, I did have a ticket agent work with me and reschedule us for the noon showing. So the previews were playing. You know, you got like 20, 25 minutes of previews these days. It's ridiculous. Like, can we get the movie going? The only movie seats he had left were in the front of the theater. I'm talking about the very front row. So we sit down and we're immediately like looking at the movie screen. So our necks were in pain. And it was a very, very strange viewing experience. Have you ever sat like right on top of the screen? It's too much. It's kind of like a crazy feeling. But I'm gonna tell you what, I have to fix this. This is driving me crazy. It's not like square. What's the word I'm looking for? Right center on the, still not right center with the thing behind me. Anyway, sorry, I'm a little bit anal about symmetry and things like that. The movie was fantastic. Are you a Guardians of the Galaxy fan? The crew was amazing. Chris Pratt is that his name? Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt was in rare form. Drax, the tall guy that plays like the dumb dude that's funny, great. Mantis, the girl that helps people forget things. She taps them to forget. She's got the little like not antlers. What do you call them? Like antenna thingies? Whatever you call the little feelers. Oh my gosh, she was precious. The whole crew was just really, really good. The movie made you laugh, it made you cry, it made you angry, it had you on the edge of your seat. There was a lot of action, it was action packed. It was so, so good. So, a fantastic family movie. If you're interested in that, I highly, highly suggest seeing Guardians of the Galaxy. You don't need to have seen the first two to enjoy this last one, and it's supposedly the very last one. So, I won't ruin why that is. Okay, let me fix my hair. Let's get ready. Let's talk about some Natasha Denona. We now know that the latest eyeshadow palette from Natasha Denona is out there on the market. It is called the Yucca eyeshadow palette. So we know that yucca is a type of a plant, a desert plant. And here's the thing. When Natasha Denona drops a palette, I usually rush to get it. And I'm happy to pay full price for the palettes because the quality is so outstanding and I enjoy the palettes. I have to say, this palette, I'm looking off screen at it. And in fact, let me put some footage of the palette over here for you. I have to say, this palette is not really capturing my interest or attention. You know what this kind of reminds me of? It's like a mash between, was it called the Subversive palette? No. That's a Pat McGrath palette. I'm thinking of Subculture from Anastasia. Remember when that came out and people were like, oh my God, I don't know how to use it. I don't know what to do with these colors. Because at the time, people were still all into like the naked palettes from Urban Decay, still like the neutral or just really softly earth tone or pinky palettes or whatever. Renaissance was out. And then from Anastasia. And then Subculture came out. Remember that? And it was all these strange colors that people didn't know what to do with. This reminds me a little bit of like Subculture from Anastasia meets Sunset, the Sunset palette from Natasha Denona. And I have the Sunset palette and I love it. I also have other palettes that have these similar tones in them. It's a really earthy palette. I don't know if I'm into this enough to grab it because I have so many of these colors kind of scattered through other palettes. And I have to say, the promo photos of the example eyeshadow looks, I have not been that into. I'm not feeling it. I don't know. I don't know that these are looks that I would want to do on myself. There's like nothing compelling about this except that it's Natasha Denona and it's a midi-sized palette, which I like. I will say, so these palettes retail for $69, which some people think is outrageous. I think it's fine because the formula is so worth it, and I do like the plastic packaging on it. Anyway, the thing about this palette that bothers me the most, if I'm to be honest, and it's petty, is that it's called the Yucca palette. So I find myself wishing that she had instead called this the desert palette, okay, or something like that, the desert flower palette, the desert dust palette, something deserty, or even maybe like the cactus palette or something like that. I don't know, something about the word yucca and having to say that every time I take the palette out. I don't like the way the word sounds on my mouth, yucca. I know, I'm so petty. I don't want to do videos talking about the Yucca palette. So I am thinking that this is going to be a pass. However, I reserve the right to change my mind because it is Natasha Denona, and I have all of her other palettes that are mid-size and large. And I really want to see how other YouTubers use this. Natasha Denona has her own really interesting style, and she does some of the most like intricate artistry with her looks. Even though she makes it look easy, she's using these small, fine detail brushes to create shadows and light and do like 4 or 5 and 6 colors on the eye at a time and make it look seamless. I want to see what other makeup artists do with this, in particular, maybe makeup enthusiasts here on, I was going to say Instagram, on YouTube, maybe Instagram too, and see what kind of looks people come up with. So let me know, is this a palette that is interesting to you, or you're like, I think I'm going to pass on this? I know not all of you are into makeup who watch this channel, so just indulge me, y'all. If you were into makeup, if you were, even if you're not, if you were into makeup, would this be a palette that you would be interested in? Why or why not? Okay, now let's talk about some empties. Okay, so then let me talk about some candles that I've burned. This is not all of the candles since last time, but some that I wanted to talk about and whether I would repurchase them. I have from Yankee Candle. This one is called Soft Blanket. Soft Blanket. Yeah, the little teddy bear is super cute. Now, these burn down really decently and nicely in terms of the uniformity of burn. It had a little bit of soot. It wasn't too bad. I did put one of those metal toppers on it that is designed to sort of diffuse that part of things so that you don't get really sooty. This is a really soft, almost a cashmere feel of a scent. Nice throw in the bathroom. This is where I use these in the bathroom, and I let them, burn all night. So I have a little bit of light and a little bit of smell good throughout the night. And it feels exactly like it sounds. It smells rather exactly like it sounds. Soft blanket, like a freshly laundered blanket, but it has a little bit of coziness, almost like a tiny, tiny hint of a sweet feature in it, and just smells really pleasant and really cozy, like warm sweater, soft blanket, that type of a thing. I would definitely repurchase this. I will say, so there are 4 Yankee candles that I'm going to share because that's what I've been burning lately. They've lasted. Like, one of the things about Yankee candle that I like is, one, I like a single wick. I get a little overwhelmed when there's more than one wick in a candle. The 3 wick candles in particular, I always like the idea of them, and then I burn them, and it's like the smell for some of them can be too strong and they burn down super fast. These lasted me the better part of maybe a week and a half, and that's burning them the entire night through. Like, I would light them at maybe 9 or 10, and I would turn them off at maybe 5 or 6 in the morning as I was getting going and into my day routine. So soft blanket is a thumbs up. Next, I have fresh mint, also from Yankee Candle, which in theory sounds like it's going to be great, but I have to tell you, I don't know, you all, this is one that I think I thought was going to smell a lot better than it did. It didn't come across in the air as fresh mint. It came across in the air as almost like old stale gum. And was a little bit overwhelming. I don't know. I would not repurchase this. I didn't even finish burning it all the way down to the bottom. This is one though that I will probably put on a warmer to take advantage of the wax that's remaining to get that smell up and see if that's a little bit better. And I'll do it in the foyer, which is 2 stories, and then it'll dissipate more than it would in the bathroom over here. So this is a no. Then I have another one that had a lot of potential. It's called A Calm Quiet Place. A Calm Quiet Place. I do like the little picture. I've always loved the little pictures on the Yankee candles. This is okay. This smells a little bit like ocean air with really stale fruit in the background. It was all right, but it wasn't anything outstanding that I would go out of my way to purchase again. Like, soft blanket was memorable and really nice to me. This one was just all right, and so I enjoyed it, but I don't think that I would bother repurchasing this. Yeah, it's got a little bit of like a men's cologne aspect to it too, like ever so slightly that, I don't know. And then the final one is called Seaside Woods. I got all of these, I think 30 to 40% off or something crazy when Yankee Candle, we have a store here in our mall, was running a sale. This one, yeah, it smells a little bit woody, a slightly bit smoky, and just like a touch of marine air. Okay, it was okay. I would not repurchase this either. So definitely the winner was Soft Blanket. And these others, they were pleasant and nice, but nothing memorable that I would want to have again. So then I went through another Donna Karan Cashmere Mist deodorant, and I'm on another bottle, and I have another backup, and I'm really enjoying these. I have figured out that the trick is not to put too much on because they can maybe ball up a little bit in the armpit. We don't need no balled up armpit, y'all. But the smell's great, and people joke about secret deodorant, not keeping people's secrets. This one definitely keeps my secrets. It does me well throughout the day, so I really enjoy that deodorant. I went through yet another Theory Amber Rose shampoo and conditioner. These are great. I just love the smell of this. It's a really nice, exactly what it sounds like, ambery rose, soft amber, like a soft, sweet amber and a soft, gentle rose. I have 2 more of these in the bathroom right now that I'm loving. And then I think I'm going to start breaking into the big bottles of Aveda conditioner and shampoo that I purchased for summer. And then in the fall, I'm probably going to go back to the Davines Oil shampoo and conditioner that I've raved about in other videos. And then this is one that I had in storage for a while and finally used. It's a body wash from, what is it called? Love, Beauty, and Planet. Is that really the name of it? I don't know. This is the Shea Butter and Sandalwood Majestic Moisture Body Wash. And it smells great. It smells really, it smells delightful. It doesn't smell like sandalwood. It smells like pear to me. Something like pear. And well, it has hazelnut on here as a picture. No, well, shea butter, excuse me. It has the shea butter nut thing, the thing that shea butter, what is the nut? The shea nut? Whatever nut shea butter comes from, that's what's pictured here. So I can't say that I get like a shea butter smell. I get more of like some kind of nutty smell with a little bit of pear, which is fine. The smell is okay. I don't care for the texture of this, and I hate the pump on these. So this is, I'm not going to buy any more of these, but glad that I used this one up. So, and it wasn't very moisturizing. It was okay. It was all right. I was not impressed. For facial cleansing and makeup removal, I went through yet another CeraVe foaming facial cleanser, which is like a standby for me. Is that the word I'm looking for? That's not the word. I'll just say Holy Grail. Standby? Y'all help me. My brain is like on fart mode right now. It's not operating. But this one, I've been through umpteen bottles of these and continue to repurchase. It's really the only facial cleanser I need. I use this in the mornings though, like because I take off my makeup the night before, do like very heavy serums and moisturizers and all of that sort of stuff. And then in the morning, wash whatever residue I have from my night routine off with this, and it's perfectly fine. And I will continue to purchase that. I don't know, facial cleanser for me is one that I haven't gotten to the point of wanting to spend money on anything else because I feel like that works just fine. And then I went through yet another micellar cleansing water from Garnier, which I use at night alongside. So let me back up. My cleansing routine at night is to take off my eye makeup with some sort of microfiber cloth. And I have gone through Bifacil, this from Lancome. This is the double action eye makeup remover. So I usually use the Sephora eye makeup remover, and I'm back to using that, but I did want to experiment and use this. And if you're into this kind of product, I highly, recommend this. It's expensive. This was like over $50 or something. Even on sale, it's still expensive, but it did the job and it takes your eye makeup off and it did not irritate me at all. So from that perspective, this was a win. And then I take off my makeup with an oil cleansing balm that really breaks down the oil, and then use a microfiber cloth to wipe that off. And then I finish off with the micellar cleansing water from Garnier. This is the all-in-one waterproof makeup remover. And it definitely takes off any final little bits of residue that might be on my face before I go in with my serums and my heavy moisturizers and all of those types of things. So yeah. So speaking of serums and moisturizers and all of that, I finished my Tatcha the Essence. Tatcha the Essence. This thing, let me tell y'all, this lasted forever, ever. Forever, ever. Forever, ever. I purchased this in the fall Sephora sale. So what was that? Like late October into November, that time frame. And it went like the Energizer Bunny. I didn't think there was a lot in there. In fact, there's still like 2 drops in there. 2 drops. This thing went and went and went. And I use this every morning, generously, like a quarter size amount in my hand or so, maybe a dime, between a dime and a quarter. What's that, a nickel? A nickel size. And I used it all the way through, I would say, late April, early May, and it just kept going. So I was proud of this in terms of being long lasting for the product, because it doesn't look like there's a lot. And I enjoyed this. I have another essence that I'm trying out right now, the Kiehl's essence. I'm loving that stuff. We'll talk about that in another video, but I love the smell of the Kiehl's essence, and it's like 2 different textures that mix into one. I love how it looks on my face. But anyway, Tatcha is, I would give that a thumbs up. Would I repurchase that? Not right now. I'm enjoying the Kiehl's, and I have, I think, 2 or 3 other essences that I want to try before I think about purchasing that again. Another essence that I made my way through, and I probably would repurchase, just not anytime soon, is the CosRX Advanced Snail Mucin Power Essence. This was a really sort of viscous, thick essence that I would put on before any other serums or moisturizers at night. And this goes on nicely. It's a cool feeling, almost gel-like texture for your face. And I enjoyed it. Can I tell you what those essences do? No, but I like them. I also went through Tatcha the Dewy Skin Cream as a night moisturizer. This is a thicker cream. There's a water cream too that's great for day if you like something a little bit lighter on your skin. At night, I want to look like a glazed donut before I go to sleep. I like something thick and emollient that's going to create a barrier from the air, the oxygen getting to my skin. I know it's crazy, but it's true. And I like the packaging on this. I would definitely repurchase this. Love the texture of it. Really, really nice, thick texture without being overwhelming or greasy. Really good. Another nighttime moisturizer that I went through is the Lancome Hydra Zen. I have to admit, I purchased this because of the pretty pale pink packaging. So cute. This is a highly fragranced night cream. And I found it to be a little bit lighter in texture than the Dewy Skin Cream from Tatcha, just like ever so slightly. a really lovely application on the skin. This goes on so smooth. It's almost like a souffle texture, but still creamy and thick. And I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the way it felt on my skin. I enjoyed the way it wore overnight and was very easy to take off the next morning in terms of a moisturizer. I would repurchase this, but not anytime soon. I do want to try other night moisturizers that I have in stock because I'm crazy and I buy too much during those Sephora sales. You know what I'm saying? I also went through a Supergoop Play SPF 50 Everyday Lotion. This has become a go-to moisturizer for me for daytime, alongside my beloved Paula's Choice Resist Skin Restoring Moisturizer. Both of these have SPF 50 in them and are staples. Maybe that's the word I was looking for before. What did I say? Back something? Whatever that was. Staple. These are both staples in my beauty routine in the morning. I put these on underneath whatever primer I'm going to use for my makeup. And sometimes I don't use primer because these sort of behave as primers for my skin. Love these. This is a little bit more of your traditional lighter moisturizer that sinks in quite nicely. This one gives you a really dewy, gooey finish that is sticky if you like that. And I don't mean sticky in a bad way. I mean sticky as in like very glowy, very, very glowy for the day if you want that kind of thing to shine through your makeup routine. And then in terms of lip products, I made my way through a Tatcha Kishni Kisu lip mask. It comes the the mask stuff, which is kind of like little frog in my throat, gel-like, is really easy to apply, very moisturizing on the lips. This is really good stuff, and I have a backup of it opened on my counter right now that I'm making my way through. And I will absolutely repurchase this. I love the texture of this. I love the slip of it. I love the way that it sort of sticks to your lips without being sticky. This is good stuff. Yeah, thumbs up. Okay, a few quick makeup products. I finally finished a lip liner. Oh my God, the amount of time it takes to go through a lip liner. This is the, are you Rimmel? Who makes you? Rimmel London 018 color Addiction. It's like this brownie nudie color, but it actually translates almost purple. Let me show you. Well, I can't because I have stuff in my arms. What if I do it like this? I don't love this. It's more purple than brown, and I prefer something a lot more brown as a lip liner. So I will not repurchase this, but I do like the Rimmel lip liners in general. Very easy to use, and they're like twist ups, so you don't have to sharpen them. I went through a Grande Lash MD for lash serum. In fact, I need to re-up on my lash serum. I keep forgetting to do that. But because I like abuse my eyelashes with like several coats of mascara and with all the washing off at night and everything, so I do need to re-up. This was fine. I don't have like a super favorite lash serum. Would love to hear from you what you think is effective. This is fine. The L'Oreal Telescopic Lift waterproof mascara. So I've heard the non-waterproof is better, and I'm willing to try that. This one I liked on the first couple of applications and then absolutely disliked it. So it has a flat edge. See that? Has a flat edge, and then the other side, and it's like the Pillow Talk, the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lifting mascara or whatever it's called, where the product is on the flat side and you use that to coat your eyelashes with the product, and then you turn it around to the bristle side and comb that through. Remember, this is the mascara that had the Michaela, whatever the heck her name is, scandal attached to it, where she got on TikTok and had, we think, false lashes. I'm checking my microphone to make sure it's still with me. She had the false lashes on and pretended that this was what did it. So do you remember that? That was like, if you're into makeup, and if you're not, you're like, what are you talking about? Well, let's just say I was about to hold up the wrong product. This one, I'm not that eager to try again. It just, I felt like this clumped my eyelashes together in a way that I don't love and just was not reliable for me. I use Lancome Monsieur Big for a wet mascara formula, and I use the Pat McGrath Dark Star for a drier formula. And I like both the formulas and the wands on those, which is like an hourglass wand. That's the kind of wand that works the best for me. So neither here nor there. Everybody's eyelashes and eye shapes are different. So two other like miscellaneous products. I don't even know if you care about these, but do you guys have this type at your Marshalls or TJ Maxx? This is hand soap, by the way. This is called Snowy Night, and I think it's pronounced Michelle, or I can't imagine it's Michael, but it's like a French Michelle. Is it Michelle? Get it together, Veronica. Michelle Design Works with the little elephant. Is that an elephant? Yeah, the elephant in the emblem there. And I really like the pattern on this. This one lasted for like forever. How much did you cost? This was $5.99. I probably could have squeezed a couple of more drops of soap out of there. But I really like these seasonal designs, and I love a good, beautiful label on a hand soap for the bathroom. You know, it's like the little pleasures. Yes, I'll take this. And finally, last but not least, I went through yet another skinny syrup, and this is the maple bourbon pecan. Here's what I find about the maple syrups, not the maple, the skinny syrups. Unless you use them in large quantities, which I do not, I literally put less than a teaspoon in a cup of coffee. I'm talking about, I literally just ever so slightly tip it until boop, a couple of drops come out and then I'm done. Because I don't want like this artificial, overly sweet taste for my coffees and so forth. Unless you use these to bake, which you can substitute your sugar in baked goods with this sort of thing. I don't know that the flavors really make a huge difference. They're slight. Like I have vanilla chai latte right now, and I do like that. But again, it's so pale in my coffee as an additive because I put so little in. So from that angle, if you just want like a little hint of additional sweetness, it really doesn't matter what flavor you get. So there you go. But I went through another one of these, and I have two more. Like I said, vanilla chai, and I think cinnamon vanilla, which I did like. I did get like a little hint of cinnamon in that one. So, couple of questions. Are you interested in the Yucca palette? Let me know in the comments below. Have you read any good books or listened to any good audiobooks recently that we should know about? Tell us. Sharing is caring, y'all. Spread the word with your friends here. Have you seen any good movies lately? Would be interested to hear that too. I did see John Wick. Have we talked about that? John Wick was so good. It had some of the best fighting scenes like ever. I'm not really big into action movies. They kind of get on my nerves. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy has a lot of action in it too, but it's also just a feel good movie, a feel good family movie. John Wick, Chapter 4. I talked about this in another video, didn't I? Some of the most entertaining fight scenes like ever in the history of movies. Although Keanu Reeves, like his character is like a buffoon in that movie, like in terms of the way that he communicates. He's this really sophisticated martial artist, like a ninja in the movie, but he literally says like 3 words the whole movie. It's like, I don't know. I can't get down with that. So let me know what you think about that. And I think that's all I wanted to share. So yeah, any good products that you've tried lately, let us know that too. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, friends.